You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico. It's 18th ranked BYU hosting San Diego State in the first game ever played at LaVell Edwards Stadium in the month of December. The Cougars with just the one loss, and it came last week in a heartbreaker at Coastal Carolina. In the matchup of unbeatens, Dax Milne with a highlight reel touchdown, giving the Cougars some hope. And then the controversy at the end of the first half on the interception, and then BYU did not take kindly to the treatment of their quarterback, Zach Wilson. After the play, the teams got together to exchange some pleasantries. And then in the second half, it came down to one last play and 1 yard short, as Coastal was able to win it 22-17. And tonight, it's BYU San Diego State. I'm Beth Mowens, along with Kirk Morrison and Stormy Bonatoni with us on site. And Kirk, the big question for BYU and college football fans is, how do the Cougars respond to losing that undefeated season last week?
As crazy as it sounds, Beth, they just move on to the next game. I'll be honest, if you ask anybody around BYU, they'll tell you, hey, they'll take that opportunity again to go and play Coastal. They understood what it took last week, and they didn't get it done. You turn the page, and what do you have now? An old rival, San Diego State. So, look, they'll be fired up to get ready to go out and win their next game, which is against those Aztecs tonight.
Yeah, a team that beat them a year ago. Of course, you have the added emotion of senior night tonight for a lot of the Cougars. Their last time on the field here at LaVell Edwards Stadium, a moment with their head coach, Isaiah Kaufusi, a part of the pregame ceremonies. And, of course, all eyes on Zach Wilson, who has been spectacular at quarterback. He's also seen his NFL stock rise, Kirk, and perhaps playing in his final home game tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He's not a senior, but this could be his last game in Provo. What he's done in the last 3 years, from a freshman to where he is now, he's really taken a lot of scouts. The eyes will be on Zach Wilson. I think he's got a big decision to make in the next couple weeks. He is an NFL prospect. A lot of teams would love to have a Zach Wilson.
That offense is the unstoppable force. Tonight they meet the immovable object, San Diego State, top 10 in the country on D.
Yeah, well, you talk about defense. That's what San Diego State has been bred on the last 10 years. When Brady Hoke first got to San Diego State, left to Michigan, he's come back. It has not changed. They are a defensive-led football team. You better strap on your helmet because they're going to be bringing it all night long.
And full disclosure, perhaps their most famous defensive alum on the call here with us tonight, Kirk Morrison. How about the big opportunity for Jordan Brookshire at quarterback, making his second straight start and looking forward to a chance at a road upset. Getting set for kick, San Diego State at 4-3, BYU 9-1. And the first time playing a home game in Provo in December. As you'd expect, it's a little chilly along the Wasatch, and a stiff breeze blowing could come into play here with the temperature under 30 degrees. The feels like's got to be even colder than that, Stormy Bonatoni.
Yeah, Beth, we're all just thinking tropical thoughts down here. But no, both teams are very prepared, at least, for the conditions. You'll see plenty of heaters and heated benches on both sidelines. And defensive coordinator from BYU actually shared some tricks of the trade with us. He said some players will put this Tiger Balm, which is like a more active icy hot, on their arms, get the heat going, and then cover it with Vaseline. So once you start sweating, get a little bit sticky, and it'll kind of coat the air and lock the warmth in. There are some guys, though, will just tough it out. We saw that in the pregame with some BYU players going shirtless. You won't see Kalani Sitake do that. However, he told us he's Hawaiian and he'll be bundled up, and I'm with him.
They are in their black jerseys tonight, our BYU. The white tops for San Diego State. They won the toss and deferred, and like the rest of America, they want the matchup that we're looking forward to. This high-powered, high-octane offense against a defensive unit, Kirk, that held the Cougs to just 3 points on one of the most frustrating nights of Zach Wilson's career a year ago.
Yeah,
as he steps in, the junior from Draper, Utah. Huge numbers and an outstanding career that may be coming to a close here in the coming weeks for BYU.
Yeah, you said 3 points. I mean, you held Zach Wilson and that offense out of the end zone. So, yes, they've had to gnaw on that for the last year. They can't wait to come out and go against this Aztec defense of 2020.
It's an offense anxious, too, to make amends for last week when they hardly had the football, and they'll come out throwing. Dax Milne, the Bolitnikoff semi-finalist, one of the top receivers in the country, over 1,000 yards already on the year, and he's got the first down.
Yeah, they're not afraid to go after number 23, Darren Hall. He's the best corner for San Diego State. 2 interceptions the last 2 weeks, and the first pass goes right to number 23, Darren Hall. They're right in front of him. They're not afraid to go after that corner.
They will throw again. Neil Pau. And here is the dynamic duo that has been so good receiving and rushing. We do not anticipate seeing Gunnar Romney, who has been in the concussion protocol, and just moments after kickoff, we were told that there will not be any Tyler Algier either, the leading rusher who was close to 1,000 yards on the ground. So a late-breaking development here in Provo, if Algier is definitely not going to be able to suit up tonight. No word yet on details. We're working on it.
Number 67, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Tim Davis is our referee tonight, Kirk.
Well, I'm just as shocked as you. I'm expecting to see number 25 out there line up at running back for BYU in the offensive backfield, and he's not out there right now, Beth. So definitely, like you mentioned, late breaking news, and we'll see how this affects this BYU offense.
Lopini Katoa, the junior from American Fork, Utah. He'll pick up some first down yardage. He was actually the starter in their first 3 games before Algier emerged. And first down yardage for Lupini. So that also means, Kirk, we may see a lot more of Miles Davis and Sione Finau in the backfield. 1st and 10 across midfield for the Cougars. Play action, and dropping it off to Brayton Casper down inside the 40.
Yeah, I'm still kind of digesting not seeing Algier out there. Katoa, you mentioned number 4 at running back. He's more of the passing back, right? He's on passing downs. You see him, the change of pace from Algier, but he is going to have a heavy load tonight, having to make up for that 957 yards on the year that Algier has coming in.
It's inexperienced. It's a big group in front of him along that offensive line, although Clark Barrington replaced by Chandon Herring at left guard. Blake Freeland is getting the start. We're looking for Katoa on the wheel route incomplete. He's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Andrew Alecki on the coverage there on Katoa. I mentioned what Katoa does out of the backfield, but 3rd down here, 3rd and 5. And look, I think this is 4-down territory regardless. In a rivalry game, you definitely got to think that once you cross that 40-yard line, it's all 4-down territory for BYU.
They'll try and run for it. The cutback and the first down for Katoa. Good job by the big guys up front to clear some space for Lopini.
This offensive line just massive up front. Just watch the big bodies get hat on a hat, and Katoa just finds a nice little crease to get the yards that were needed. I just mentioned it, Beth, that you run the ball right there on 3rd down, you're telling me you're going for it on 4th down in that situation. But they picked it up, 1st and 10.
Moving the chains on this first possession of the day against an Aztec defense, top 10 in the country. In just about every statistical category. Pau down to the 10-yard line for the Cougars. And another big play for BYU, and Neal may have gotten nicked up at the tail end.
Just watch the protection. He can stand back there and wait for the route to develop and just deliver a strike. This is what the BYU offense, you don't talk enough about the offensive line and the protection they give Zach Wilson, enable him to look down the field and deliver a strike.
Go with a couple of tight ends, and they'll put Mason Wake in the backfield here. Looking for Katoa, initially incomplete. Intended for Cosper. So look at that offensive line. They're all 300 members. With a lot of experience. Brady Christensen, just a junior, but he may get a serious look from the NFL scouts this year with a decision to make. Wilson around the left edge and down to the 5-yard line. And it's going to bring up 3rd and goal. 4th best third down defense in the country for San Diego State, allowing just 27% on 3rd down.
I wonder if we may see more of that tonight, Beth. More quarterback runs without Algier, right? Could we see more of Zach Wilson having to take things or matters into his own hand? Maybe seeing a repeat play here on 3rd down.
He does have 8 rushing touchdowns. We'll throw it out to the flat to his favorite target, Dax Milne, and the touchdown for BYU.
That was just way too easy. That was just way too easy for Zach Wilson. Little sprint out action, gets to the outside, and Milne, just an outstanding route, just pushes up, turns out, ball's delivered. That's a touchdown.
75 yards in 10 plays, just over 4 minutes. Happening all year long with Zach to Milne.
Timeout. When you get to the outside, you got to find a way to stop the quarterback. But if you don't get pressure, that's just pitch and catch. Cougars upset.
An impressive start for BYU, and Zach Wilson 5 for 7 on the drive for 58 yards, including the touchdown pass to Dax Milne. Jake Oldroyd, who was on the Groza watch list, hasn't missed the field goal this year. Amongst the best kickers in the country, will boot it away. Special teams was fabulous last week for San Diego State with a kick return and a punt return for touchdowns. This is Jordan Byrd, who had the 93-yard kick return last week. And now San Diego State will have it for the first time. Let's revisit that score, Kurt.
Yeah, look at Tariq Thompson here, number 14. He's in the slot for San Diego State. On 2nd down, Zach Wilson ran the football, so on 3rd down, Tariq Thompson's looking in the backfield. He's looking at the quarterback the entire time. Dax Milne just runs an out route, a simple out route, and it's a touchdown. So this is the dilemma now that Zach Wilson is putting the defense in. Without Algier in the football game, you may see more Zach Wilson run, but you got to keep an eye on your receiver as well.
We've now been informed that it is an illness for Algier. He will not be playing tonight. The question for the Aztecs was Greg Bell, would he be playing tonight? And there he is out there getting a touch. One of his running mates, Chance Bell, is out, so it will just be Greg tonight with Jordan Byrd.
Yeah, I know San Diego State's excited to have Greg Bell back in that offense. It's totally different when 34 is back there running the football. It definitely opens up the play action when needed.
4 100-yard games to start the season, and then he got hurt. And Jordan Brookshire will keep it. His 2nd start of the season. Got the call last week against Colorado State and took them to a win. He is the 3rd different quarterback this year. Lucas Johnson and Carson Baker have also had a shot.
Well, Brookshire, his skill set is he likes to run the ball. 23 attempts last week, Beth, versus Colorado State in his first start. He is going to find an opening, a crease. If it is not there, he will take off. Kagan
Williams into the backfield. He and youngster Jalen Armstead also could see some time tonight. Here is Williams. Look at him carrying a defender with him for a few more yards. How about a studio update right now with Kevin Nagandi? Wow, that could be big. USC also losing tonight. Florida losing tonight. Coastal Carolina barely surviving. They scored in the last minute to win. Could there be some movement? The college football playoff shakedown into the final week. And of course, a week from tomorrow, we will know who is in the playoff. We'll know who's headed to the New Year's Six Bowls. And will these two teams be picking up bowl games? All yet to be determined, Kirk.
Yeah, we'll find out very soon, right? Because right now, San Diego State is in the Mountain West, where they only have 3 bowls, I think, available for the conference. So they may be the odd team out when it comes to bowl selections.
Berkshire will keep, and he'll get across midfield. Taken down by Isaiah Kalfusi, one of the top linebackers in the country, making his 25th career start. He's the leading tackler for that Cougar defense.
Well, I want to see what this Cougar defense does. They do have a score already, all right, offensively. They got the touchdown, but last week, defensively, they could not get off the field versus Coastal Carolina. And Coastal ran the ball, time of possession. They played keep away from BYU. Can San Diego State try to imitate what the Chanticleers did a week ago?
Out of the backfield, Greg Bell, nice cut, got a first down. And down the sideline to around the 30-yard line, slips out of bounds. And that'll move the chains for SDSU.
Yeah, only the 10th catch for Greg Bell on the season, but they just want to get him the ball as much as possible. 6 foot, 200-pound senior, and you can just see the ability. Beth, he looks about 100%. Last couple weeks, you could tell he's been laboring on an ankle. But I'll tell you, this offense looks totally different when 34 is in that backfield.
Well, we talked about how cold it was, under 30 degrees with a wind chill, but you can also see that that ground is hard and in places a little slick.
Number 26, Kagan Williams, ball carrier.
How about some more on Greg Bell? What you got for us, Stormy?
Yeah, Beth. Well, Coach Hoke told us that his week at practice was very different than last week when he was coming back from that injury. He said he's a guy that he can make some runs and set up some runs that make you say, hey, this is a guy that's special. And he was doing that at practice again this week, which tells you he's more comfortable cutting, wasn't second-guessing his body. And I saw that in pregame warm-ups, too. He looked really sharp and comfortable.
Yeah, it was an ankle injury in the Nevada game, then didn't play in their Colorado loss. Berkshire. Well, you talk about the 3 losses, Kirk. How about to teams with records of 15-1? I mean, Colorado, they just suffered their first loss of the season today against Utah. They've had some tough opponents. San Jose State, another one.
Yeah, going to their conference championship.
In his first career start, you talked about the rushes. Threw it a little bit. Looking at a 3rd and 5 here.
And this is where Berkshire has to prove he can throw the football. But is it a situation again where Brady Holt may try to run it, keep the ball on the ground, and try to bleed more of this clock and go for it on 4 downs?
They will run it right up the middle. Good second effort, and the bounce by Williams, and he will score. Stuffed after just a couple, but nobody was able to wrap him up. 25 yards for the touchdown.
On 3rd and 5, San Diego State decides to draw up the run, but watch the offensive line. Great push. And then all of a sudden, Kagan Williams just gets lost. He gets lost in the pile of bodies, finally sees an opening and races to the end zone. That was more of everybody over pursuing, and they can't find 26, and he goes out the back door and races to the end zone for a touchdown.
9 plays, 77 yards, finished off by Kagan Williams, and we're even.
Yeah, Kagan Williams, hide and seek. You can't find me with the equalizer. Aztecs, Cougars, 7 apiece.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. Is presented by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance.
All even at 7 apiece. BYU and San Diego State tonight from Provo. As we head into the last week of the regular season, and a reminder, we've got the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff matchups in the Rose Bowl and the All-State Sugar Bowl. Those will be coming your way on New Year's Day. Our selection show a week from tomorrow. It's 4 hours beginning at noon Eastern. We'll also unveil the New Year's 6 bowl bids. College football playoff selection show presented by AT&T 5G. Cougars will have it back in just a moment, but let's check in with Kevin Nagandi.
First and 10 for the Cougars on the 25-yard line.
Well, they're still fighting on for Mark Sanchez. Still fighting on. Good ones. USC, UCLA, LSU, Florida tonight. We're off to a good start in Provo. Zach Wilson, ball popped loose. And San Diego State has the first turnover as Isaac Rex, the trusty tight end, couldn't hold on.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Isaac Rex, the true freshman tight end. The first team, I think he's going to be a freshman All-American for sure. He catches his pass, and then it was just not corralling the ball. It looks like getting a hand in there with Shawcroft. He just gets a hand in there and knocks the ball out. It's recovered by San Diego State. Swarming defense. We talked about it at our open, Beth. This defense is very opportunistic. They're very stingy, and they are getting a turnover and getting it back to their offense.
Shawcroft with the fumble recovery. Something that BYU's been so good at, taking care of the football. You just saw that's only the 9th turnover of the season. They've only given up 9 sacks this year for a team that scores close to 45 a game. But it's the defense for San Diego State making a play, and their quarterback Jordan Brookshire going to keep it on the ground. You talked about the time of possession advantage last week for Coastal. 38 minutes they held the football and kept the BYU offense at bay. And that was the recipe for success.
Yeah, and what do you do if you're San Diego State? You're going to try the same recipe. Said it tastes good last week. We're going to make sure and see if it tastes good this week. And you're seeing so far keeping the ball on the ground.
Coastal was able to rush for 281 yards last week. Try the receiver screen, incomplete, looking for Jesse Matthews, the leading receiver this year for the Aztecs. First-year head coach Brady Hoke in his second stint in San Diego, replacing Rocky Long. 9 years of tremendous success for Rocky after he had replaced Brady Hoke the first time. 4 10-win seasons for Rocky, 9 bowls, 10 straight bowls, because Brady took him to one his final season before he left for Michigan, and now he's back. They will set up a 4th and 1 right here after Greg Bell gets the carry.
Well, what have you noticed so far, Beth? They've got into these 3rd and long, San Diego State offensively, and they've run it on 3rd down. Right, not putting the ball in Brookshire's hands, allowing him to scan the defense and find an open receiver. They feel good about their kicking game, and they're going to settle for 3 here.
Matt Ariza, his long is 48. 10 of 14 on the season. This will be a 42-yarder for the lefty, and they're going to fake it. And they will run for the first down. Tanner Coolgin, the holder, extends the drive.
You got to be ready at all times. And Colgan he gets the ball, puts it down, and I can see the defense of BYU hesitates for 1 second. He goes straight up the middle and finds an open spot and gets enough for a first down. Already Brady Hoke rolling the dice here on 4th down. But again, the Aztecs extend with the running game. First down.
Out of the gun for Brookshire. They will let him throw it here. Slings it across the middle for a gain of about 3 or 4 to Daniel Bellinger, the junior from Las Vegas. He had a touchdown against the Cougars in the win last year.
Yeah, he's the tight end that I've seen all week long, Beth. I've been watching tape, and I'm saying this 88 kid, Daniel Bellinger, probably one of the better tight ends, I think, in the Mountain West Conference, starting to get more confidence in throwing him the ball more. Watch him down here in this red zone. But this is where San Diego State tries to attack the perimeter. Once they get into the red zone, watch the ball out on the perimeter.
Greg Bell is the offset back. Brookshire into the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Elijah Cody, what a grab for the junior from Las Vegas, and San Diego State takes the lead.
Beth, this play is all about the catch. The throw is out there, but just watch Elijah Cody. Just watch him. That ball is all the way to the outside, and Cody, just watch his eyes. He watches it all the way in, catches it with his hands. The extension for the touchdown for the Aztecs. Yeah, you can get up and stare back. That was pretty cool.
Off the takeaway, off of the fake punt to keep the drive alive, and it's Cody giving the Aztecs the lead.
Well, it's been pound on the ground the entire time, and Brookshire says, I can throw it too. Cody making him a believer. Touchdown, Aztecs.
Here is the touchdown just a moment ago. Brookshire to Cody from 15 yards out. And the 14-7 lead for San Diego State on the road tonight in Provo, and scoring off of the turnover and the fake field goal. We saw earlier today a little bit of a hangover from Coastal Carolina after all the emotion of their undefeated matchup against BYU, or the Cougars feeling some of the same effects. They had some costly miscues last week in the loss.
Yeah, they sure did. It was Gunnar Romney earlier on the 4th and 1 on the first drive. He drops one there. Tyler Algier, the short-handed running back, not playing tonight, but put the ball on the ground last week. And those were some of the miscues by BYU offensively that kept them not only behind the chains, Beth, but kept them on the sideline.
Neither one of those guys is available tonight. There's the play selection so far for BYU. They scored first on the Zach to Dax 5-yard touchdown pass. And then their last drive stymied by the fumble as Milne makes another catch.
And what does he do? It goes right back to his guy, right? How do you settle the offense down? This is what Zach Wilson does. Go back to Dax Milne, get everybody, take a deep breath, and move right back to where this offense was going in the first drive.
The give is to Katoa. He's got the first down off the left edge to the 40-yard line. That'll move the chains for BYU. Well, it's one of those another great college football days, Kirk, where it's good to have a lot of different televisions and devices going. You got LSU, Florida tied late. You got USC making the comeback on UCLA in the fourth quarter.
It's rivalry week, right? Especially, you mentioned that USC, UCLA, but San Diego State, BYU right up there.
Zach Wilson. Incomplete, overthrowing his target. This was a big deal on the schedule when you were with the Aztecs, wasn't it?
Always, yeah. As a member of the Mountain West Conference, when BYU was there, you knew when San Diego State, BYU week, it was don't call me. turn your phones off. You know, family and friends, I'll talk to you after the week's over, because this was such a huge rivalry, because you know going against BYU, you're going to get a ton of eyeballs all week long.
Been able to play a couple of times in the last few years. 2nd and 10. Pressure coming. Incomplete across the middle. And it's 3rd down. He was looking for Rex. Shawcroft with some good coverage.
This San Diego State defense, man, they're tough. And they are going to challenge Zach Wilson. A lot of people saw Zach Wilson last week versus Coastal. Not one of his better games. And so people want to see, do the Aztecs in their defense, can they make Mr. Wilson struggle again like they did last year, keeping him out of the end zone?
7 of 11, 79 yards here in the first half. Wilson had the 3 turnovers and a career-high 53 attempts last year against San Diego State. Under duress, releases as he's going down, incomplete, and the Aztecs will force the 4th down.
It's all about pressure. When you get pressure on Zach Wilson, you want to speed up that process. And that time and the last time, it was Michael Shawcroft again. Earlier, he had the forced fumble. This time, he's a rusher. Comes up and just finds a way to get to Zach Wilson, hangs on those legs, and Wilson just never looked comfortable there in the pocket. Again, the Aztecs getting off the field. Turnover before, and now turnover with a punt.
Ryan Rico punting it to B.J. Busby. On the 18-yard line for the Aztec attack. We'll kick off your Week 14 NFL Sunday, 10 Eastern, with the Countdown crew on ESPN. They'll be talking with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills and get you ready for the full Sunday slate, which includes Bills, Steelers, Colts and Raiders, and the Vikings and Buccaneers, and also a little Taysom Hill as the Saints will take on Philly. It'll be Hill against Jalen Hurts on the other side.
Interesting matchup there.
Yeah. Star for BYU.
Taysom Hill was balling last week, man. Balling.
Got something to prove. He wants to be the full-timer somewhere in the NFL. As Drew Brees gets set to come off the IR here in the next couple of weeks. Incomplete on that throw to Busby. The offensive coordinator, Jeff Heklinski. They are trying to undergo a bit of a system change and get that dynamic QB-driven attack going. It's been difficult with the inconsistency so far at the quarterback position, having to use 3 different guys and an injury to Lucas Johnson, the transfer from Georgia Tech. They like this guy on the ground, though, and Greg Bell, the Nebraska transplant. Bell looked awfully good out of the gate, Kirk.
Yeah, I mentioned it. The offense looks different when he's back there. And you look at the first 4 games, he was running wild. Then he was slowed by the injury, and that was in the Nevada game, one of the big games for the Aztecs this year. And the offense hasn't truly looked the same so far, having him out there, giving the Aztecs great rhythm on offense.
3 carries, 14 yards. They line him up in the slot, and now he will step into the backfield. Child flushed. And the pass is caught out across the 30-yard line to Elijah Cody.
Wow, what a catch. Watch Cody. The ball, that's just thrown up again. And Cody just grabs it 2 hands, got a foot down. I think they may take another look at this one in the replay booth. There's a lot going on that play, but just the strength of Cody in the hands to catch it and bring it in. But I think that play will hopefully stand for San Diego State as the feet got in. But when does he control the football? That'll be what the replay booth will be looking at, Beth.
Yeah, the ruling is a completion, and it certainly looked like he not only got in the 1 foot, but a 2nd foot as well, and was able to haul in the pass and keep it from hitting the ground.
Yeah, that looks to be a catch, right? The whole process of the catch. And to me, it's about when do the officials, replay officials, say he's got control of that football. I think he's got control right there with 2 hands on it, and he gets the foot down like you mentioned.
I don't see any reason to change that on the replays, as the ruling on the field is a catch. It would be his 2nd for 28 yards. The first was the touchdown catch.
So far, Brookshire has been just putting the ball in the area. He hasn't had the accuracy that you would hope for from your quarterback, but sometimes that's what you do ask of your quarterback. Just put it in a spot, put it in an area that your wide receiver can just go up and go make a play. And so far, you mentioned that Cody has made 2 big plays if this catch holds up.
Ford is up in the replay booth taking a look.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to overturn this one. I mean, the call on the field is a catch, but I'm trying to find a look that tells me something different. He's got 2 hands on the ball, feet down, and he finished the process. So I think this should hold up. Call on the field should stand.
Terrific strength to hold on, because Warner had the arm as they were coming
The ruling
down
on
together.
the field of a completed stick catch stands as called. First down, San Diego State.
There it is.
First down, Aztecs.
They don't ask Brookshire to throw much, but so far he's been clutch in those 3rd downs.
So far in this first quarter on those 3rd down conversions. Final minute of the quarter. Room up the gut for Greg Bell, junior out of Chula Vista. He was leading the Mountain West in yards and yards per carry. The Mountain West Championship game is set for next week. Boise State and San Jose State, the undefeated Spartans, staying that way this weekend. They're playing in the championship game for the first time, as Bell is close to first down yardage.
Yeah,
they are excited to have William Dunkel back in that offensive line, Kirk.
Absolutely. That's what I'm leaning on right now. I'm saying 73, William Dunkel back. They are running the ball on that right side behind that 6'5", 330 right guard.
14-7, San Diego State taking advantage of a takeaway. Take the lead. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico. And the 14-7 San Diego State lead over BYU. Jordan Brookshire with a touchdown pass. The touchdown run for Kagan Williams. After BYU jumped in front 7-0, Zach Wilson to Dax Milne. The BYU offense quiet in that first quarter otherwise. And on 3rd and 1, Bell will move the chains.
Oh, that's a nice run by Bell there. 3rd down, and I see a BYU defender come swipe at his legs, and yet just the balance that he's showing on that. I know that ankle is probably all the way not 100%, but he's showing that he's about 100% as you can get on that run, leaning for a first down.
He'll catch his breath. Kagan Williams will come on. We have not seen Jordan Bird in the backfield. We did see him on special teams. And Completion to Jesse Matthews out close to midfield. Peyton Wilgar with the stop, the sophomore from St. George, Utah.
All high percentage throws for Brookshire. Nothing deep down the field. Everything is going to be within that short intermediate, so 5 to 15 yard range. And that's what BYU defensively, they're playing for that. They're playing from top to bottom, keeping everything in front of them.
Bellinger and Given both move from the right side to the left. And then they'll crash down inside and provide some cover for Williams, who runs for another first down.
You're going to have to go through blockers if you're BYU today. Watch how many blockers San Diego State gets at the point of attack. They're pulling the backside guard and the backside tight end. And then Kagan Williams has been making guys miss inside the hole every single time. He's a smaller back, 5'9", 195. And so far, he's been getting lost in the backfield. Tough to bring down for BYU.
Been able to control things on the ground, over 100 yards rushing as a team now. Brookshire nowhere to go there. Summers was the first guy to him.
Yeah, also 99, Zach Dahl, one of those seniors, just doing your job. And Brookshire has made a living so far as the starter of handing or faking that read option and then taking off. And that time, Dahl and that BYU defense was all over it. They were ready for Mr. Brookshire.
2nd and 10 as Bell returns to the backfield. Greg gets the call. Pretty good downhill run for a few more.
And this is the same. We just talked about the recipe for San Diego State. They watched the film last week of what Coastal Carolina did. They are in no hurry. It is 3rd and 5, and they're not rushing to the line of scrimmage. They are taking their time. And I said it, look, this is the last game of the season for San Diego State. You may go for it already. We've seen one trick play on 4th down, but you're inside the 40. This is 4-down territory, I think, for the rest of the game.
7 carries, 32 yards now for Bell. They have run 10 more plays than BYU as they control the clock. Another first down. Jordan Brookshire got it.
It's the zone read again. Carson Baker, the starting quarterback to start the season, was more of a pocket passer, pro style. That's not Jordan Brookshire, number 4. He is a read option guy. And San Diego State has all the trust in him there. 3rd and 5, he just follows that big offensive line and leans for 6 yards for a first down.
He's got 23 yards on 6 carries here in the first half. Jump up front. Caden pause.
Offside, number 73, defense with contact. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
First and 5 after the penalty. Interception. Picked off and returned out to the 30-yard line, Drew Jensen. And a flag is down on the play.
That play for San Diego State looked like a disaster from the beginning. It was supposed to be an RPO, and yet it seems that the back went the wrong way or the quarterback went the wrong way, because Brookshire held the ball out, and there was nobody there, and
During
Jensen
the return,
picks the ball off.
Personal foul, face mask, number 34. 15-yard penalty to the end of the run, first down.
First takeaway for Brigham Young.
Yeah, they're in the pistol, and watch Greg Bill. He goes the opposite way, and Brookshire is trying to do a read option, and there's nobody there. It didn't fool Drew at all. So Drew Jensen just sits there and watches. Hey, there's no running back there. Who are you faking to? He stands there and just jumps up and intercepts the pass. That was great awareness by Jensen, picking that ball off, and poor execution by San Diego State.
Let's see if that helps awaken this BYU attack. On the ground with Lopini Katoa. Again, they are without Tyler Algier and Gunnar Romney tonight. Two of their main weapons. Second and 8. So much of this year has been about overcoming adversity and adapting to new norms. You know, they had the short week of preparation for Coastal. Only found out a couple of days prior that they were going to be playing that game last week, trying to overcome the devastating loss. And when we talked to Kalani Sitake about it this week, he said, hey, nobody's happy about losing, but it has to be a teacher for us. We have to learn some things. We like to play football. We love the challenge week in and week out, and we knew it was going to be a difficult task. We wanted to take it on anyways. And so now this week, it was all about getting back to trying to enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride of being able to play together one more time. When the San Diego State defense had Katoa trapped, he lunges for the marker, and they're going to put him about a half a yard short. It's 4th down.
Oh, great read by San Diego State defensively. They shot straight to the outside. I think it was looking like Trenton Thompson was the first one there, number 18, and he slowed up the feet of Katoa, and he seems to be a yard short. But I mentioned, hey, last game of the season, these coaches realize you want to go out with a win. This is a rivalry game, and I think Kalani Sitake sends his offense right back out there for 4th and 1.
They'll try it up the middle, and they've got the first down. Katoa with the burst. Inside the 10 and down to the 1 yard line. It's 1st and goal, BYU.
Look, they bring a little bit of orbit motion to get everybody thinking, okay, there's a pitch again. But no, it's Katoa lined up in the fullback position. I don't think San Diego State defensively realizes that. That was just a simple dive, and it was a quick hitter. Katoa finding the lane and getting all the way inside the 5 yard line. Great call there by Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator.
A 43-yard run on 4th down to set up the Cougars. Short yardage. Play action. Wilson into the end zone. Touchdown, Isaac Rex. Second TD pass for Zach and a PAT to try and tie it.
For Isaac Rex, that's his 9th touchdown on the year, but San Diego State, they just sell out on the run. I mean, all 10 Aztecs are on the ball. There's one guy left on the outside, that's Tyler Hawkins, but he is nowhere near close to Isaac Rex. That's an easy toss for Zach Wilson to Isaac Rex, the freshman All-American tight end.
Oldroyd's extra is good. Wilson with a couple of touchdown passes as they convert the takeaway to tie it. 8:34 to go here in the first half. How about a closer look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by AT&T 5G. Alabama, Roll Tide roll today. Florida, the stunner. They lose tonight just moments ago to LSU. And Miami hammered by North Carolina. So a couple of losses in the top 10, Kirk.
Yeah, and then now you look at Cincinnati versus Tulsa next week. Cincinnati wins that one. And you still know that Iowa State takes on Oklahoma in their championship game. Could see a Cincinnati Bearcat team in that New Year's Six.
We will find out soon enough. Back in a moment.
Spee Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Part of V Week, and we always like to celebrate those lives where the fight continued, and Dax Milne's mom, Jill, a cancer survivor. You've probably heard the story if you've been following the Cougars. And this was 2 years ago, 2018. Dax and mom, Jill, my hero right here on this day, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and began her battle through it all. Been so positive and so strong, and then just got the great news today that she's officially cancer-free right now. That was December of 2018. We've seen Jill watching Dax play this year. Dax having a fantastic season, over 1,000 yards, a Biletnikoff semifinalist. Such a critical part of their success this year, and to be able to share it all with his mom, Jill.
Absolutely. And also, it's caught the eye and attention of a lot of NFL scouts as well, Beth. He's one of those guys that may have a decision coming up in the next couple weeks.
4 catches, 36 yards, a touchdown for Dax tonight. San Diego State's offense has been able to match them. Ethan Dadow with the catch right there. Good hit from Zane Anderson, making his 27th start in the secondary tonight for BYU. Another one of those seniors out of Stansbury Park, Utah. Jordan Bird we now see in the backfield for the first time, the junior from Albuquerque. Their 3rd leading rusher, but more active tonight, perhaps without Chance Bell in the lineup, and he is held behind the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit, led by Keenan Peely and El Bakri.
Yeah, BYU, they're all over it, right? When Jordan Bird comes into the game, he is your outside guy. He's the home run hitter. A lot of plays that go out to the perimeter. He's not running in between those tackles, and that time, BYU, they were all over it, shooting the gaps to the outside and keeping Jordan Bird bottled up.
Their first play of negative yardage tonight. Incomplete. Brookshire looking for Jesse Matthews. And now a 3rd and long. They've been able to stay away from this curtain, control the clock a little bit tonight. Doubling up the time of possession of BYU.
But when you don't win 1st and 2nd down, you get to these 3rd and longs. And this is where San Diego State and offensive coordinator Jeff Heglinski, they don't want to be in this situation. But if I'm going on 3rd and 11, I'm finding number 88, my tight end, over the middle.
They've converted 4 of 5. And he will throw it here, and he will get it. Jesse Matthews breaking a tackle behind the line to gain, and then pick it up 12.
Wow, terrific route by Jesse Matthews. It was just a 12-yard in. Watch Jesse Matthews. He knows where the sticks are. He runs that route right at 12, comes back to 11, catches it, and gets upfield for a 1st down. That's great awareness by Matthews, knowing where the sticks are, going back and helping his quarterback, and then reaching out for a 1st down.
His 2nd catch tonight, 16 yards for Jesse. He'll check to the side and run something else. Brookshire 7 of 11, 67 yards with the touchdown and the pick tonight. Pressure off the edge coming from Isaiah Calfusi, who gets a stick on Greg Bell.
I'll tell you this, you better block him. You better block 53. He's been a menace his entire career at BYU. One of the team leaders in tackles with 66 on the year, and it's a reason why, because he is always around the football. He plays a rover position, meaning that he can rove around. He can line up on the line of scrimmage, he can play off, play a little bit of safety, but 53 always around the football for BYU.
On 2nd and 10, Williams taken down by Tuioti Mariner. Let's check in with Stormy.
And guys, Beth, just to talk a little bit more about Isaiah Kafusi, defensive coordinator Elisa Tuiaki said that he's somebody they definitely wanted to have an impact on this game. He's been a true leader. He's got a really unique influence around the players around him. He said the guys just really respond to him. The way he carries himself physically and emotionally on the field has been huge for them. And this, being a senior this night, they wanted him to have a good one.
Brookshire slings it downfield, incomplete after it was bobbled by Cody. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, you make the hard ones look easy, and you make the easy ones look hard, right? Is that how it goes? Because Cody right here, he should catch this football. I mean, I think he's thinking about being hit, and he drops the ball. Great defense again by BYU to corral and be right there in the area. But Cody, he missed that one. That was a complete drop, and unfortunate because, again, Jordan Brookshire on 3rd and long, delivering the football, which should have been a 1st down.
First punt of the night for Coolgen. Hobbs Nyberg at his own 11 and gets out to the 12, and that's it. Good coverage there by the Aztecs. All even at 14 apiece, under 5 to go in the first half.
Is on. The AT&T Countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship, Monday, January 11th on ESPN.
That will be the national championship on January 11th. As Cosmo twirling some fire there at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. They need all the heat they can get on the first December game ever played at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, with temperatures under 30 and a wind chill to boot. And Zach Wilson slinging it on 1st down for a 1st down to Neil Powell.
Wow, that's an NFL throw. I mean, it's on a rope, right in between coverage, only where his guy can get it. It's just some of the throws that you love when watching Zach Wilson.
On the ground with Lopini Katoa. Getting back to that national championship game, the semifinals this year will be on New Year's Day at the Rose Bowl and the Allstate Sugar Bowl. The projection right now would be Clemson against Notre Dame and Alabama against Ohio State. Of course, Clemson and Notre Dame still play head-to-head in the ACC championship game. Alabama will play a Florida team that lost tonight in the SEC final, and Ohio State has Northwestern next weekend in the Big Ten championship. And a 1st down here for the Cougars with Katoa.
Yeah, I'm thinking about those Northwestern Wildcats, though. They got an opportunity to shock the world next week, really throw the college football playoff for a loop.
Florida and Miami both losing today, so perhaps that opens up opportunities for other teams to be considered for those New Year's Six bowls. Wilson could not stay on his feet, and down he goes, and a sack for Cameron Thomas, the all-Mountain West defensive end.
Yeah, those are the guys that we were supposed to talk about all game long. Cam Thomas, Jonah Tavai, and also Caden McDonald, and it's just a nice game they run, an inside twist, and Cameron Thomas just comes up and he doesn't let go. You see Wilson trying to get out of it. But a nice job by Thomas holding on and getting him to the ground.
A loss of 9, just the 10th sack allowed by BYU this season. Wilson on 2nd and 20 will try and get half of it back, and he does. Completes it to Dax Milne.
Now you get into that 3rd and long situation, but you remember, Beth, he likes to go to Milne here on those 3rd downs, but we've also seen the tight end, Isaac Rex. So for one thing, if you're San Diego State defensively, make sure you keep the outsides bottled up. But this is where Zach Wilson, if it's not there, will take off and keep these chains moving.
Been really good on 3rd downs all season long, close to 50%.
Just trying to read the coverage.
They need the 45, and incomplete, looking for Rex, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, defensively, great job by San Diego State. Defensive coordinator Kurt Maddox. What did he do? He doubled the guys who you should double. You double the tight end on the outside, and you double Dax Milne, and you force Zach Wilson to have to go to someone else. He doesn't. Still almost a catch by Rex on the outside. A great throw from Wilson, but the right idea by San Diego State of doubling on the outside.
Well, that hit him right on the hands after Wilson had completed 5 in a row. Isaac couldn't hold on, so they'll boot it away. And a fair catch at the 15 by Jesse Matthews. Aztecs ball when we return to Provo after this. Two minutes to go here in the first half. San Diego State and BYU. Coming up on the Nissan halftime report. USC, UCLA down to the wire. Colorado losing for the first time. And LSU in the fog. And if you haven't heard about the cleat, that will be the story overnight, no doubt, and into the morning. That's all coming up on the Nissan halftime report. Some upsets around college football. Another would appear to be a stunning comeback for the Trojans. So that means all our championship games are now set. It will be USC Washington in the Pac-12 final as long as Washington can go. If not, it would be Oregon if there are still COVID issues.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting week.
Yeah. Here's the P5 championship games. They are now set, including that Clemson-Notre Dame rematch on ABC Saturday afternoon.
No, that's going to be a good one, Beth. I think also Oklahoma-Iowa State, that has huge, huge ramifications for a team like Cincinnati I mentioned before. And Alabama-Florida, what do we expect from that one, right? We were talking before the show today, what? Alabama scored 35 points in 23 consecutive games. So we know Florida has to score, what, 35? Just to stay
I'm expecting a lot of Alabama in that one, Kirk. Do you think Ohio State, have they done enough? If they beat Northwestern, are they into the playoff? That's going to be the big issue for the selection committee, one of them.
Yeah, it's tough because they've changed the rules, right? And it's allowed Ohio State to be in a championship game, and we'll see next week, right? I don't know if I would have changed my rules to allow a team to be in that haven't played enough games.
And will it matter what happens in the Clemson-Notre Dame game, or are they both already in? Notre Dame can beat Clemson for a second time. That may open the door for somebody else, and even though Clemson's only losses would be to ND. So another BYU timeout right here, and that'll allow us to set up a little Monday Night Football for you. The Browns are back in the playoffs. Baker Mayfield and company have won 4 in a row. The Ravens are on the outside looking in right now, so that's huge for them. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 in the race for the AFC playoff spots. Remember, there's a 7th team that will be getting into the postseason this year. The Chiefs have already clinched, although the Steelers right now sit on the top spot. But they have the matchup with the Bills on Sunday. And that Raiders-Colts game is huge. They could flip places. The Colts right now holding on to the last spot ahead of Vegas.
How good is this Browns offense, though? And a ton of credit to not only Baker Mayfield, but first-year head coach Kevin Stefanski, right? I think he may get some talk for NFL Coach of the Year as well. Great job in turning that thing around up in Cleveland.
So BYU using some timeouts here to stop the clock, see if they can get the ball back. It's 3rd and 8. Brookshire, the pass caught short, a couple yards shy of the marker. Good shoestring tackle from Micah Harper on Jesse Matthews, and BYU will use the final timeout.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
So with 1:33 to go, it's 4th and 2. Do you like San Diego State to, let's see, where is the ball located here? And what kind of decision might San Diego State be considering for Brady Hoke?
No, they got to beat this one.
Yeah, they got to
They've already shown their cards once. Now they got to go out and try to stop. Because we remember last week, BYU, right before the half, they can make some things happen quickly. So San Diego State, defensively, they're going to have their hands full in these final, less than 90 seconds.
Short field, too, for Wilson. It will take a bounce in favor of the Aztecs. Down to the 32-yard line with 1:18 to go before the break. And Zach Wilson, who has 2 touchdown passes here in the first half, will look for a 3rd after the 45-yard punt.
No timeouts
27th
left.
start. Yep, and an outstanding career for Zach Wilson in what may be his final home game, as he has seen his draft stock rise with an outstanding junior campaign. Projected by some to be the third quarterback off the board, maybe early in the first round. There is a flag on first down. The completion to Cosper.
See what the flag is on, either offside defense or illegal formation.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Back them up 5 yards and got to start it all the way over again. And look, this is one of the things too that for BYU they want points here because San Diego State gets the ball to start the second half, so they want to cash in and at least get 3 here, if not a touchdown, offensively.
Plenty of time against the 4-man rush, and back to the original line of scrimmage to Pau, and that's it. Good tackle by Trenton Thompson.
Yeah, you mentioned Trenton Thompson. And look, San Diego State's defense is playing top down. They're keeping everything in front of them with no timeouts for BYU. You tackle a guy and let the clock run.
Slinging it out across the 40 for a first down to Pau. And they will hustle to the line here, the brief stoppage while they move the chains. First and 10, Wilson on the rollout. Down inside the 40 and a first down to Dax Milne. 30 seconds to go.
They're moving too. Great job on the last play by Katoa, sealing the edge and giving Wilson enough time to throw. That's a false start on the center there. They lose 10 seconds on that one, I think.
This could be real costly.
That looks to be on the center.
They don't have any timeouts either, Kirk, to negate here the 10-second runoff.
Yeah, moving too fast. The center never really got a hold of the ball, and as he tried to snap, the ball fell loose out of his hand.
Illegal snap. Offense, number 66. That penalty carries a 10-second runoff. Clock operator, reset the clock to 17 seconds. 17 seconds.
Boy, and you see it pushes him further away from that field goal target line as well. Probably limits what you can do across the middle of the field here. They'll throw it to the outside and get out to stop the clock with 9 seconds. And they're right on the cusp of our target field goal line there for Jake Oldroyd.
I was expecting San Diego State to go more zone there. They end up bringing 6. I would play zone here and keep everything in front of me because there's no timeouts on the BYU side.
Blitz coming. Wilson will try and throw it over the top, and it's out of bounds. 4 seconds to go.
I don't know how much you go all-out blitz there with Dax Milne on the outside. That was one-on-one, and it was a good job by Taylor Hawkins using the sideline, but sets up a field goal attempt.
A 50-yard attempt, the long of 45, 11 for 11 on the season for Oldroyd. Has the leg, and it is good. He stays perfect on the year and puts up the 3 spot as time expires in a 17-14 BYU lead. The late field goal for the Cougars puts them on top and a 3-point edge over San Diego State. The Aztecs will have it to start the third. The Nissan halftime report coming after the break. By Geico. 17-14, BYU with the field goal as time expired in that second quarter to grab the lead. Beth Mullins, Kirk Morrison, Stormy Bonantoni with you. As San Diego State gets set to receive the second half kickoff. Let's revisit that first half, Kirk.
And it was all about the turnovers, right? Both teams had a turnover apiece, and it was the points off the turnovers. San Diego State, they cash in their turnover. And then on the other side, BYU, they get their turnover, and they cash it in to Isaac Rex, the tight end, who was the guy who fumbled the first time for BYU. So, like you mentioned to us a little bit earlier, it's come full circle, Beth.
Yeah.
It's come full circle.
Finished where it started, and we still got another half to go. The time of possession and the ground game advantage San Diego State. They wanted to try and keep that BYU offense on the sideline, but Zach Wilson was able to sling it, had a couple of TD throws through the first half of play, and they've got the 3-point advantage. Trying to bounce back from their only loss of the season last week to Coastal Carolina. Let's see if maybe there's still a chance that they could sneak into a New Year's Six bowl with some of the upsets around this weekend and perhaps more teams that might tumble next week. Let's check in with Stormy.
Well, hey, Beth, I spoke with Brady Hoke a few moments ago, and he said so far so good in terms of their recipe for success against this BYU team. They're running the football a lot better than they did last week, 119 yards on the ground in the first half, more than they had all game last week, and they're dominating the time of possession. That's what this team does. What they need to do better is defensively tackle better. He does not like the tackling from his defense, and they're all about that.
All right, thank you very much, Stormy. This is Greg Bell making a man miss and racing down the far sideline down to the 40-yard line. Troy Warner appeared to have him boxed in, and Bell got away.
Yeah, the short tackling Troy Warner. We know the brother of Fred Warner, the linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, but that should have been a tackle for loss. And just Greg Bell showing you how explosive and elusive he is at that running back position, making Warner miss and turning into a big play for the Aztecs.
28 yards on that catch and run for Bell. He will stay in the backfield with Jordan Brookshire. Bell with another nice cutback and run. Down inside the 25-yard line, and a hot start for Greg Bell.
And yeah, he's coming up a little bit lame on that right ankle, but they're going off that right side again, the right side of that offensive line. And how excited Brady Hoke was to have number 73, William Dunkel, back, that right guard. He said, look, their offensive line feels like their best when Dunkel's been in. And so far, Greg Bell running behind the right side of the offensive line.
11 carries for 56 yards now for Greg, as Kagan Williams will check in the backfield.
Interesting penalty here because San Diego State only has 11 on the field. So I want to see what they call here.
Offside, number 93, defense, causing a reaction by the offense.
Okay.
5-yard penalty, first down.
I think they get Bracken El-Bakri with I guess, a signal or something he called to try to draw San Diego State off. Because I know San Diego State was in the formation. When you get a penalty like that, either illegal formation or something thrown by the defense.
Williams will try it close to the first down, tackled by Troy Warner. As they move it into the red zone.
But again, Beth, it's a theme, right? Where are they running to? The right side of the offensive line. That's the strength right now. And if I'm BYU, I'm starting to think San Diego State will be going to that right side, their left, the entire game.
Down inside the 10 behind William Dunkel. What did he tell us? He's a big man who likes to move other big men, and he's doing it right now. The 6'5", 330-pound sophomore out of Chula Vista, Dunkel, with Zach Thomas on that right side.
I mean, they're getting great push on that right side of the San Diego State offensive line. They are pushing back the BYU defense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep running it.
Let's stick with Kagan Williams. Ball is out. Fumbled the football inside the 10. BYU says they've got it, and they do.
They try to go back door, and watch 34, Kavika Fanua, the linebacker, or linebacker Slafty. He's right there. He wraps it up, and it looks to be at the end, that ball was punched out. I didn't get the number who punched it out, but it was a great job of Fanua on the outside, not allowing Kagan Williams to bounce it. And yeah, that's what happens. You put the ball on the ground, you got to do push-ups. I'd rather have the ball back, but you got to do some push-ups. And unfortunate, again, for San Diego State, a nice drive, driving inside the 10-yard line, and boom, a penalty, a fumble, which negates the drive for a possible score.
Vivaliaki is the guy that recovered it. And remember, that was Kagan Williams after Greg Bell had a nice catch and run, followed by a big run, and appeared to tweak his ankle a little bit.
I think, Beth, also, too, let's think about, for Greg Bell, the temperature, right? That ankle may have been warmed up, feeling nice and good in the first half, and all of a sudden you get into the second half when you got these inclement weather, right? When it's really, really cold, that body tends to freeze up, and that may be one of those things where Greg Bell's on the sidelines trying to heat that ankle up.
BYU has scored the last 10 points to take the lead late in the first half, and now they've got it back. We'll be looking at a 3rd and long as they continue to play without their star tailback. Tyler Algier was a scratch just before the game due to illness.
And again, 3rd and long for BYU. And for San Diego State, they will bring pressure here. They're trying to get Zach Wilson off the spot, similar to what Coastal Carolina did a week ago.
No trouble for BYU. Wilson able to make something out of it, and a first down. Katoa out across the 35 as Zach Wilson had to backhand it behind the rushing defender.
Yeah, this is a great play by the quarterback. It was like almost like a push pass, and this is some of the traits that Zach Wilson has, why NFL scouts love this competitor. Like, they find a way, competitors find a way to win. That time, there's no way he gets that ball off, but he finds just a small little angle to throw that ball and get it off, and it was a big play by Katoa.
Huge 3rd down conversion deep in their own territory. And a fresh set of downs with a little more green grass behind him. Wilson throws for a first down out near midfield. Isaac Rex.
You know, Beth, I talked to a scout the other day about Zach Wilson, and I said, what is the best trait about Zach? He said he can make all the throws. So here on the last 3rd down, you see him try to find an arm angle to get the ball to Katoa, which he does. And then here on the last play, showing the arm strength and throwing it all the way to the outside. Picture perfect accuracy by Zach Wilson.
Connects for 12 more there as he goes over 200 yards passing tonight with the 2 touchdowns. Another completion to Pau. 3rd in the country in passing efficiency. He's top 5 in completion percentage and touchdown throws. He's a guy that his head coach, Kalani Sitake, was telling us, I've been watching this young man since he was in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
And they spent a lot of time watching Joe Burrow film last year and said, you can have the kind of success that Joe Burrow had last year at LSU. He put in the time with his guys in the offseason. Despite the COVID restrictions, they were able to work through it and around it and put in all the quality time together, and it's paid off big time.
Yeah, it was just a couple seasons ago, right, Beth, that Zach Wilson was the MVP of the Idaho Potato Bowl, right, where he kind of put college football on notice. That day he went 18 for 18, 317 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And everybody said, here's the next great BYU quarterback. And he struggled last year. he's changed that all the way around. When you watch him this season, he has definitely taken to heart everything that he and Coach Satake talked about in being one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
Drop it off to Katoa out of the backfield. Big hit from Taylor Hawkins on the tail end of that. Katoa shaking it off.
Gotta like this drive for BYU. Started all the way back inside their own 10-yard line, and they're marching. This is something they want to do, possess the ball, try to equal up the time of possession that San Diego State right now is winning.
8th play of this drive. On 2nd and 6, they'll keep it on the ground. Katoa may have gotten warm. 3rd down at about 5.
San Diego State bringing in their rush package. They're expecting to pass here. And again, on the outside, I'm looking for number 5, Dax Milne, if I'm Zach Wilson. He's been my go-to guy in these types of situations. If I get one-on-one on the outside, that's where I'm looking if I'm Zach Wilson.
Blitz is coming. Wilson beats it on the slant. Down inside the 15 to Pau, 1st down.
Just reading the coverage, he sees that he's got man-to-man on the inside. And Pau, just what he beats his defender to the inside. When you're in an all-out pressure, you have to take away the inside. That time, Tariq Thompson stayed outside. You don't do that with a quarterback like Wilson. He'll beat you every time. Doesn't need a lot of room, and that was the perfect pass for Pau to take it and get the 1st down.
Wake and Finau in the backfield as Zach goes under center. All kinds of moving parts after the snap, and it ends up with a loss of a couple of yards. Pau is the guy that took the football amidst the deception.
I almost thought this was a throwback, possibly. Pau actually had some open guys on the other side. It was designed for a pass, but San Diego State just doing their job, very disciplined, holding that to a loss. Definitely a minimal gain.
Milne is the motion man. 2nd and 13. Zach hit as he throws it out of the back of the end zone, looking for Rex. Good pressure from Jonah Tavai, the junior out of Manhattan Beach.
Oh, you want to play quarterback, huh, Beth? You got to stand in there sometime and wait for the route to develop. But watch the shot that Zach Wilson takes here. He knows that route's coming, and you mentioned Tavai, but all 6 foot, 305 pounds of flesh right there on Whistle. Possible in the NFL, that may be a penalty, but not in college football yet.
Another 3rd down here on the 12th play of the drive for BYU. Blitz coming again. Wilson finds Rex underneath. He'll be short down to the 12-yard line, and it's 4th down.
Good job, San Diego State, understanding the switch route, right? It was you get a stacked alignment by Pau and Rex, and they just stayed off, understanding where the sticks were, playing top down and tackling. That's a good job by San Diego State forcing the BYU field goal.
Oldroyd 12 for 12 on the season. He's already made one from 50. This one a little closer, 29 yards out. And he's got that as well. So that's 10 points tonight off of turnovers. The long drive resulting in the 3 and a 6-point BYU lead. Drive resulting in the field goal. Well, the NBA preseason continues tomorrow night. The Lakers and the Clippers from the Staples Center. the defending champs. They'll open up the regular season against one another, by the way, on December 22nd. They've re-signed LeBron. They've re-signed Anthony Davis. They've added some new pieces. Kirk Morrison. Can the Clippers hang with them?
Montrezl Harrell switching sides, or I guess should I say switching locker rooms? Other side will go from the Clippers to the Lakers. He doesn't have to go far. Go down the hall.
All setting the table for that big Christmas day of 5 NBA games on your docket. We'll be back in a moment. Points, 10 of those for BYU, and that's the difference. Beth Mullins along with Kirk Morrison. Kirk, an SDSU grad, so we thought we'd put together, there's some awfully good athletes that have played for the Aztecs in all the different sports.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Gwynn, the great Tony Gwynn, also was a baseball coach there as well. Marshall Falk. I used to say, I went to Marshall Falk University. Kawhi Leonard, great watching him play. And Steven Strasburg, a fellow 2014 Aztec Hall of Famer inductee with myself. Yeah, I'm probably an honorable mention up there, Beth. Honorable mention.
I think if we had the right social media campaign, we might be able to get a push behind Morrison for the 5th Mount Rushmore face. Of course, that'd take a lot of work, but those 4 would be awfully tough to beat. And there you are with Steven at the 2014 Hall of Fame induction. Now that's got to be the best class, I would think, right there.
Yeah, only thing is, we both share a World Series championship. He won, I didn't, but we share it. How about that?
You get access to the ring? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I'll ask him, hey, can I borrow the ring sometime?
Along with Stormy Bonatoni, who's in Provo for us tonight, bringing you all the action as we close out another big day in college football and move on to the conference championships next Friday and Saturday, and then the college football playoff selection reveal a week from tomorrow. We will find out the 4 playoff teams. We'll find out the New Year's 6 bowl matchups. As of right now, it looks pretty good for Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Ohio State, but there are the what-ifs. Clemson could have 2 losses if the Irish beat them again. Does Ohio State have enough on the resume with the shortened season in the Big Ten? Good push up front by that defense, led by Kairos Tonga.
You mentioned it, great push, great swarm. I think BYU has had enough of this San Diego State run game running all over them. And that time, you mentioned a cast of BYU defensive characters just getting in the backfield. Just watch, it's just penetration. Look, I'm tired of it. Tonga just gets up the field and just demolishes that play before it can even start.
On 2nd and 13, time for Brookshire. Out across the 35-yard line, Max Tooley with the stop on Williams. And he'll get some of that yardage back.
This is where BYU's defense, and this is where they wanted to get San Diego State in. These 3rd and long situations, 3rd and 8 here. So they want Brookshire to have to look and find the open guy, which Brookshire, he's a 1 read and throw. If it's not there, he'll take off, and they're trying to take away that first read, the BYU defense.
On 3rd and 8. Out across midfield and caught. Dominic Benson has the first down.
It's a nice throw here by Brookshire. The first read was not there for him, but watch him wait, show the patience, go all the way back to the back read, and deliver a strike. He paid for that one, but showing some of what he's improved on from week to week. That's a nice throw, but one to extend the drive for San Diego State.
Couple of tight ends. Greg Bell is back in the lineup here in the backfield. He'll get the call, picks up a couple, runs into Zane Anderson. He still is having some issues. You can see with the ankle, he's going to come back out.
Yeah, that's tough because Kagan Williams has already put the ball on the ground a couple times. And I think if it's a September game, I think Bell can stay warm. But you get cold in these December games, it's tough to keep that ankle warm.
Taking their time, letting that clock run down on 2nd and 8. Williams will give them a more manageable 3rd down and a couple.
I know what San Diego State wants to do, and I think last one we've seen them give the ball to Kagan Williams, but I think this is the opportunity here for Brookshire if I'm BYU, keeping my eyes on the quarterback, number 4, on the read option.
4 or 5 on 3rd downs tonight. On 3rd and 2, they'll get another one. Williams with the carry.
It's a nice block on the left side. You know, we talked about the right side of the offensive line for San Diego State and what they've been able to do and get the great push, but it was the left side of the offensive line. And Kagan Williams, again, it's just the 5'9", 195-pound back. But when he finds the hole, he accelerates, pick up the 1st down.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter.
See if they take a shot here at the end zone.
9th play of the drive. They've had it for over 5 minutes. Williams able to bounce away from the first wave of attackers. Gets it down inside the 35.
And he runs hard. Look at that. He get a helmet full of grass. Yeah, he runs hard. It's the 2nd, it's the 3rd, it's the 4th effort by Kagan Williams. Just not being able to be down by the first tackler, finding a way to get as many yards as he can.
He'll let that clock work down to zeros and head to the 4th quarter in a 1-possession game with the ball on the move, trailing BYU 20-14. Cougars and Zach Wilson up 6 on the Aztecs of San Diego State as we head to the 4th quarter on a cold night in Provo. In Provo, BYU with the 6-point lead. The Aztecs controlling that clock, Kirk Morrison, and getting it done on the ground with Williams and Bell.
Yeah, Kagan Williams is kind of a surprise because usually it's the other Bell, Chance Bell, but he's not here today. It's been Greg Bell, Kagan Williams, averaging over 4.5 yards per carry, kind of trying to impose their will here in this 4th quarter for San Diego State.
On the other side, Zach Wilson, a couple of touchdown throws. They have converted 2 San Diego State turnovers into 10 points on the scoreboard. And now it's a 3rd and 6.
How much do you trust Jordan Brookshire? You know, we'll find out here. San Diego State has not put the ball in the air when it's 3rd and 6 or less. Could this be that opportunity for Brookshire to either keep it or try to put it in the air to pick up the 1st down?
It's Bell going to try to run for it, and he'll be a couple yards short. 4th down inside the 30. Zach Daw with the stop.
Decision time for Brady Hoke, and I'm looking at the offense. They're still out on the field. They're not moving. And I think Brady Hoke has just made that decision on that last call. You know what? We're going to go for it. So on 3rd and 6, they probably wanted to get half of it. They got 4, so now brings up a 4th and 2. And this is where Brookshire has held on to the football. He did it last week versus Colorado State in the same situation. These 4th down situations where San Diego State just keeps the ball in their quarterback's hands.
They do it again, and they do not get it. BYU holds and will take over on downs.
It's all about film study. And BYU, they watched last week, said, you ran that on 4th down? We know what you're running. BYU all over it.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff, coming New Year's Day.
The semifinals on New Year's Day, the national championship on January 11th. Who will be involved? We'll find out the 4 teams in the playoff a week from tomorrow on our exclusive reveal show. And there have been some changes due to some big games this weekend. Of course, Bill Hancock and that selection committee looking forward to the semifinals January 1st, the championship game January 11th. We will be ready. Bill Hancock, the executive director of the CFP.
Yeah, I'm ready for New Year's, Beth. I don't know about you. I'm getting the gumbo pot ready. I'll be watching the rolls and the sugar. Yeah, oh yeah. I'll be tuned in for sure.
Those are the 2 semifinal games. Of course, USC just beat UCLA at the Rose Bowl earlier this evening. And that apparently has had a major impact on our ESPN Power Index. USC has jumped ahead of A&M and Clemson in terms of the percentage of making it to the college football playoff.
Yeah, that's some drama for you championship weekend now. That's some drama, right? USC poking their head in, saying, hey, don't forget about us.
That would be big for the Trojans as Zach Wilson slings it down the far sideline and caught inside the 40-yard line to Dax Milne.
Wow. What a throw. What a throw from Zach Wilson to his main target, right? His roommate. It's pretty easy. You got your roommate. Just run deep. I got you. But watch the adjustment by Milne. He saw that the ball was on the back shoulder. That ball's perfectly thrown. I mean, Darren Hall is one of the best corners for San Diego State. And that ball is thrown perfectly to Milne for the catch.
10 targets, 7 catches, 87 yards for Dax. Plenty of time for Wilson, looking for Milne again. Incomplete, broken up by Darren Hall on the Thorpe watch list in that secondary.
Yeah, he had plenty of time to throw it. It was just a fastball right there, but Darren Hall, he's upset at the last play. He had great coverage on the throw to the outside that time. He was right there hip to hip with Dax Milne.
Second and 10, they'll check to the side. On the draw with Katoa. We'll get some of it back. Well, if you can't make it to the playoff in Miami, join us virtually for the College Football Playoff All Access Experience, featuring exclusive content and the chance to win prizes. Register today at collegefootballplayoff.com/all-access. On a 3rd and 7 here for BYU. Can they re-enter the conversation for a New Year's Six bowl after both Florida and Miami lost today? They were projected to be in that New Year's Six group. Wilson, first down. Pau. 25 for 33 now on the night with a couple of touchdowns for Zach.
It was a great play design by the offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes. He put Dax Milne in the slot, and Milne ran the takeoff route, which took both defenders deep with Milne, but nobody was left underneath Pau, who just runs the out. He was wide open. That's a great play design by BYU for the first down.
Grimes, by the way, a candidate for the Broyles Award to the top assistant coach in the country. Wilson into the end zone, and it is hauled in for the touchdown. Isaac Rex laying out for the score.
Beth, you can't throw this ball any better. You're under duress. But watch as Zach Wilson just waits. He waits and he pumps one time, but watch the placement. That's ball placement by Zach Wilson. Unbelievable throw. We say NFL type throws. That's off the back foot, and it's waiting just a half a beat longer to make sure that that ball is thrown where it needs to be. Outstanding throw and catch by BYU for the touchdown.
They will go for 2 here. Try to make it a 2-touchdown game, and they'll get it. Zach Wilson's 3rd TD, and they score off of the 4th down stop provided by their defense moments ago.
Getting all the way out to the tight end. Isaac Rex making a play. And then Zach Wilson just making an easy throw to the outside for Katoa. Cougars up by a couple touchdowns.
Five of 34, another 300-yard performance with the 3 touchdown throws. And a 28-14 BYU lead over San Diego State early in this 4th quarter.
They only ask him to be great when it's needed, right? Be at your best when your best is needed. And man, Zach Wilson, he makes 4 or 5 plays per game, Beth, that just, you say, wow, unbelievable.
We're going to take a quick timeout and be back to Provo, see what the Aztecs have down a couple of scores.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance.
28-14, BYU with the lead over San Diego State. Here is our College Football Award Spotlight, brought to you by the Home Depot. Zach Wilson up for the Maxwell and the Davey O'Brien. Dax Milne on the Bolitnikoff watch list. And Jake Oldroyd perfect on the season. One of the finalists for the Lou Groza Award as the best kicker. Our College Football Award Spotlight show. Remember to tune in for the Home Depot College Football Award Show January 7th at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Zach Wilson calling on the offense hotline upstairs. He's got over 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes to lead the way for the Cougars, who are trying to bounce back from their lone loss of the season last week against Coastal Carolina. San Diego State at 4-3, trying to keep alive their streak of 10 straight years going bowling, Kirk.
Yeah, and now they're going to have to rely on Jordan Brookshire in his 2nd start and putting the ball in the air now, because you can't just run the football. You're going to have to make some plays down the field, being down 14.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Not the position the Aztecs want to be in. They want to run the football, time control, ball possession, all of that. But now you got to put the ball in the air, and you got to score fast, because BYU is waiting to get back on that field with Zach Wilson and that offense, because they feel like they're in rhythm now.
1st and 20 from their own 15, play action. Jesse Matthews gets it out to about the 28. All building up towards the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff matchups for the national semifinals of the Rose Bowl and the All-State Sugar Bowl. That will come your way on New Year's Day, those 2 semis. Also unveiling the New Year's 6 bowl games. It's a 4-hour special that will start at noon a week from tomorrow. The College Football Playoff Selection Show is presented by AT&T 5G. So you'll have the 2 semis on New Year's Day, the national championship game on January 11th down in Miami.
I know a lot of BYU folks are probably still upset. You know, the loss last week to Coastal probably ruined their opportunity to get to a New Year's Six bowl. But if I'm Kalani Sitake, I take that game every time. I mean, that was an opportunity last week for BYU to put its brand on the national stage. And unfortunately, Coastal Carolina was the better team that day. And I think now BYU may not have that New Year's Six opportunity, but you have to take that game last week.
He said we love to play football. We love the challenges. We're trying to build something special at BYU under Sitake. He's talked about building as an independent, a little bit different, obviously, than when you're playing in a conference. A decade of independence for BYU. They had to build this schedule from scratch under Tom Holmoe, the AD, after things shut down over the summer, and what a job they've done setting up opponents. Of course, what will Kalani's future hold as well? This seems to be a terrific spot for him, but there have already been stories out there, Kirk, with the opening at Arizona. Kevin Sumlin fired today. A lot of the coaches on the West Coast, their names are popping up. Sitake, Brian Harsin, probably going to be on the short list of names that Arizona would at least take a look at, if not want to talk to.
People forget that Sitake, he kind of started, he cut his teeth in the Pac-12 with Utah as they made the transition from the Mountain West to the Pac-12. So he's well aware of that conference. I don't know if Sitake wants to leave BYU, though. It's his alma mater. I think it's sort of his dream job. Yep. He's talked about how much he loves the place, and I don't think there will be some attractive offers for Kalani Sitake, but I think the best place for him is right here at BYU.
Also today, Texas announcing that Tom Herman will be staying. Those were the two big coaching discussions today as BYU gets a good hit on the quarterback, Jordan Brookshire, a little slow to get up.
Just coming from the outside, Kafusi is right there, flushing him up underneath. And then Tonga finishing him off at the end there. But San Diego State got to keep the blocking up front to allow Brookshire enough time to get the ball down the field.
He will throw it here on third down, and he's got a connection down to the 31-yard line. He's 15 for 22 now, over 150 yards on the night.
Yeah, when you get the play fake right, which they didn't do earlier, it was intercepted. But watch how he waits just a half a beat, right? Because that time he waited for the defender to jump. When the defender came down, which is Tanavasa, he delivered the football. See, improvement from the one earlier that was intercepted.
Yep, he's been very good on third downs, a pickup of 17 yards there. Down to the 30-yard line to TJ Sullivan.
I like this for San Diego State.
Coverage.
Yeah, I like this for what they're doing offensively. They're getting into some empty formations. That way that Brookshire can see the coverage, can see the blitz, and be able to deliver. That was a nice throw to Sullivan as he waited for Sullivan to clear and get to the outside.
Good hit at the 29-yard line, Kavika Fanua. And it's third down.
Here is third down again.
Clock continues to run now, Kirk, approaching 6 minutes for San Diego State. You need a score, a stop, and another score.
Look at the tight end Bellinger up top. Number 88, he's the tight end, flexed all the way out. That may be the matchup that Brookshire wants to go to.
Looking that way. Will throw for a first down to the 20-yard line to the other tight end. That's Nolan Gibbon.
Yeah, they wanted to go there first. But BYU took that away. They doubled on the outside to Bellinger, and that time seeing Brookshire again coming off his first read, getting to the second read. It's a terrific job picking up the first down.
They will run it. All right, terrific effort just to get some positive yardage for Kagan Williams. Another good push up front, led by Zach Dahl, got into the backfield.
Man, you can't play this any better if you're Zach Dahl. He just is just trying to wreck the offensive line. It didn't matter if they sent 2 pullers like they did. He just wanted to create a pile. You create a pile and you let the cavalry come. Just watch 99. He knocks one out the way, gets down and stops the other one, the tight end coming across, and then you just let the rally, you let the troops come in and finish it off.
Over 6 minutes now on this drive. Brookshire inside the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal for San Diego State as he finds Isaiah Richardson.
You love the drive by San Diego State. They're moving the football, but they're taking a ton of time off the clock. There is no hurry up within the offense. They got to hurry it up because you don't want to give the ball back to BYU and allow them to go into the 4-minute offense. Try to get this thing in the end zone as quick as possible. Allow yourself more time.
Well executed so far by Brookshire. Bell is knocked down by Max Tooley. And this will take us under 4 minutes to play.
But this is what you want.
Kirk, where you're probably not talking about a score, stop, score. You're probably talking score, and then you got to get the ball right back.
Yeah, they're trying to put it on the hands of their top 10 defense. No, they want to put it in the hands of that top 10 defense. All right, we'll see.
First order of business is to punch it in. And BYU is making that extremely difficult. Cougars get a stop. It's 3rd and goal. Fourteenth play of the drive coming. It started on their own 25, and now time of the essence. Timeout Aztecs. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico. 28-14 BYU over San Diego State, but the Aztecs are trying to punch it in late. And a reminder, tomorrow morning, your NFL Sunday gets underway at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's Sunday NFL Countdown to get you ready for the day in the NFL. Need to get some points up quickly. Bird lunges for it and does not get in. It's 4th down.
He tried to get up into the air, but just a good job of building a wall, BYU. He just jumps up and he goes into the arms of a BYU defender.
Hawes.
Yeah, big Hawes, the freshman, getting up there with a bear hug, bringing him down, but San Diego State still need to hurry up.
They've already got one stop on 4th down tonight. Brookshire gonna run for it. He slips and falls down short, and BYU holds and will take over on downs. A long drive for San Diego State, and they come up empty. Brookshire made a go for it, lost his footing, and down he goes. BYU football. (28-14), and it's the BYU defense with a pair of 4th down stops in the 4th quarter, getting Jordan Brookshire out of the pocket, and he slipped on the icy surface down inside the 5-yard line, negating what had been a terrific drive to set them up. Over 8 minutes they had the ball, Kirk, and they come up empty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they've played well all the way up until this point, but you're talking about a missed opportunity there, right? You get a touchdown, you're right in this game, and the turf monster got Mr. Brookshire on that last one, and now forcing the Aztecs to have to make a miracle to get back in this game. But Brookshire's played well.
They have 2 timeouts. Wilson will keep. Gingerly gets a yard or 2. San Diego State will use a timeout. They will have 1 left. Let's take a look at tonight's Fighting Spirit moment, brought to you by Modelo. And after the early miscue, Kirk, Isaac Rex has made amends.
Yeah, he's been the guy a lot of people have been talking about around the country. Isaac Rex, I think he's going to be a freshman All-American. Looks to be one of the good tight ends that will develop at BYU over the next couple years.
Whew, how about that catch?
Yeah, he's a guy, man. He's a dude, I would say, right? He's a dude. He's a dude, man. Zach Wilson has found him 11 touchdowns on the year for Isaac Rex.
He's got 2 more tonight, and you know that window of opportunity occurring without a couple of key cogs in the offense out tonight in Gunnar Romney and Tyler Algier. And so Isaac Rex, Neil Pau, another guy over 100 yards receiving, they have helped pick up the slack. Lupini Katoa getting it done on the ground. Also has a catch for a 2-point conversion tonight. Other Cougars have made the most of a chance. And Katoa will set him up here, 3rd and short. And the Aztecs will burn their final timeout. Well, since this seems to be getting a lot of tongues wagging on social media tonight, Kirk, so let's revisit it. So after USC's comeback win over UCLA, they stay undefeated in the Pac-12. And this is according to the College Football Power Index on ESPN. Alabama almost guaranteed a spot. Ohio State and Notre Dame look good. And SC in front of Clemson right now in Texas A&M.
Yeah, is that a play-in game, right? Because if Clemson beats Notre Dame next week, does that now leapfrog Clemson in and push Notre Dame down? Or if Notre Dame beats Clemson, does that now push USC possibly in? I know Texas A&M, yeah, they don't have a choice, right? They're hoping for some chaos to maybe push them.
Yeah. So the other narrative, the other narrative, of course, on social media now, the ACC and the SEC are all saying, well, wait a second, I don't think USC and Ohio State have enough games on the resume to be considered. So all of that, of course, will get tossed into the lap of the selection committee. And, of course, a lot will hinge on those conference championship games. Got a big Friday and Saturday coming your way in the college football world, as BYU is short and looking at a 4th down with 2:10 and running to go. No Aztec timeouts remaining. And so BYU will let this run down before kicking it away.
Yeah, they'll take that timeout, get over there and punt this ball away with about a minute and 48 seconds left.
And why not trust your defense in this situation? The last 6 possessions for San Diego State, 2 punts, 2 turnovers, and 2 4th down stops for BYU. Most recently inside the 5-yard line.
And we know San Diego State is not a quick hurry-up type of offense. They want to run the ball. They play well from in front, but they're a difficult offense to try to come down and score from behind. So they got to figure it out here with Brookshire. There's still an opportunity, right? They can get down and score quickly, try to get an onside kick, but they've put themselves behind the 8 ball with those last 6 drives, like you mentioned, Beth.
Yeah, they have not scored since the first quarter when they led 14-7. They had big spark from their special teams last week, a kick return touchdown, a punt return touchdown. Well, they're going to get it back here with 1:48 to go. And the pressure on Ryan Rico to get this out cleanly.
Tucson 0-1, Tucson 0-1, set.
Jesse Matthews will bring it back into BYU territory. And the Aztecs without any timeouts, 1:38 to play. Jordan Brookshire, the junior from Santa Rosa, in his second start of the season. Don't forget to stay with us after the conclusion of this game for college football final. And that crazy finish to the LSU-Florida game tonight. Brookshire will step up. Pass batted at the line of scrimmage, and it will tumble incomplete. Second down.
Yeah, it looks like it was Kafusi that got his hand up. And that's what they're going to do. These final 90-plus seconds, BYU defensively, they're going to drop as many as they can, and they'll keep Kafusi, 53, as sort of the spy on Brookshire. And that time, he got his hand up and deflected the pass.
Senior out of Cottonwood Heights, Utah, maybe playing in his final home game here tonight. Brookshire, down he goes. And the sack for BYU. George Udo got him. It's third down, and the clock will run.
Nobody blocked Udo. He just came from the outside and just watch it from the right side. Nobody blocks him. He just comes right in and just hits the quarterback, gets the sack. That could have been even more of a forced fumble that could have turned it back over to BYU, but you got to pick up the pressure by BYU.
Third and 18, and the pass out of bounds inside the 40 to Daniel Bellinger, and they're down to one final chance here. Fourth down, under a minute to go. Brookshire caught for the first down to the 12-yard line, and TJ Sullivan.
Nice throw from Brookshire. San Diego State has to hustle up and try to spike this ball. Well, they're just going to run the play right after, but a terrific throw from Brookshire.
27 yards on the gain. Brookshire, nice catch inside the 10 and out of bounds, back to his tight end Bellinger. Last two possessions resulted in fourth down stops for the BYU defense. San Diego State was here just moments ago and could not punch it in. Incomplete. Looking for Richardson. The total yardage, the time of possession will favor the Aztecs tonight, but right now, not the scoreboard.
Brookshire's got to make one more play. He's got to make one more play to just, if they don't score here, there's probably not enough time left.
Brookshire lost the handle. There's no whistle. It's scooped up by BYU. And was Brookshire in a throwing motion, or is this a fumble?
This was a throwing motion. It looked like it was batted down. It may have looked like a fumble to the official, possibly, but I saw arm going forward. Or did he lose control of the ball before it came out of his hands? I just saw arm going forward. Yeah, that's an incomplete pass. I thought it possibly may have came loose before the forward motion, but that's just Brookshire trying to throw the ball and then trying to curl it back in. Thought it was almost an interception, and it brings it back.
Jared Capisi recovered the football, and apparently here the ruling on the field is a fumble recovery. San Diego State's offense is off to the side of the field.
Fumble is under further review.
And they're going to review that, and this should come back to San Diego State.
Yeah, they'll reverse that one. That arm's going forward, and the ball comes out. Yeah, if had the ball came loose before he started the motion, then yeah, that's a fumble, but he's got full control of that football in the hand, and as he's going forward, the ball comes out. That's an incomplete pass. I think now the officials have to do all the tedious stuff, right? They got to figure out the time on the clock, how much time was still on the clock, and then also too where the ball will be placed.
Looks like at the end of that motion, he was trying to pull the ball back because I didn't see a receiver out there.
Yeah, he second-guessed himself. He was about to throw, and he realized, oh, that's not going to be there. And he tries to pull that ball in, but that's an incomplete pass. And then how much time do they add on the clock? It will be the next order of business for the officials. But for only his second start, though, for Jordan Brookshire, he improved from week 1 to week 2, right, in terms of his starts. Beth, I mean, here's a guy last week, ran the ball 23 times. Today, he's done a lot more with his arm for the offense.
Of 30, 231 yards and the touchdown for Brookshire, also an interception.
The ruling on the field has changed to an incomplete pass. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 25 seconds. The ball would be placed at the 7.5-yard line. 4th down.
College football final is coming up next. And this is 4th down and 5 now for San Diego State. 25 seconds to go.
And this one will be thrown in the end zone for sure.
Can still get a first down, but the clock the issue here with just 25 to play and needing 2 scores. Brookshire, the bad snap, and he falls on it, and he's down outside the 20, and BYU can close it out.
Yeah, I think Brookshire has to realize that it's 4th down and just try to pick the ball up and just throw it up. Anything can happen, but once you go down to the ground and go pick it up, and that knee's on the ground, that's 4th down. That's a change of possession. And we've seen some crazier things happen, right? I think I saw, Western Michigan today?
So here is Zach Wilson. Will this be his last appearance here at home for BYU? Still has the option to return, but also a chance to move on to the NFL, and he will close it out with a win. And the Cougars will prepare for a bowl bid. The first 10-win season in 9 years for the Cougars. And a successful campaign, to say the least, for Kalani Sitake and BYU. 28-14, the final over San Diego State. That'll close it out from Provo. 28-14, BYU a winner. College football final is next. Get you up to date on everything that's happened today in the world of college football.